clock is asymmetrical, and you can count. It has 6 bays of windows to the east of that clock, but only 5 to the west of that clock. And that's because they had to destroy a section of their building in the 20s to make space for the expansion of LaSalle Street, because in the 20s, Chicago was just growing rapidly, needed that extra space. I'm sure the architect wasn't happy about that. But nowadays, they have inside of here the headquarters of Encyclopedia Britannica. Does anybody over 30 remember Encyclopedia Britannica? Okay, good. I see the energy. It's a good set of books, wasn't it? Continuing up on the right, you see a shiny glass tower called 300 North LaSalle. My favorite feature of this one, other than that beautiful shine, is that nice little steakhouse they have downstairs called Chicago Cut. I went there almost 4 years ago to celebrate getting this job here, and their steaks were really good. It's time to go back. Next door to the right, you'll see the Helene Curtis building with its large windows and its 3-part design. This is an example of Chicago architects when they started moving away from the European styles and began creating their own unique Chicago styles of architecture. Continuing on the right is this big, wide merchandise mart built in the Art Deco style. Art Deco has deep inset windows, vertical racing stripes, polished Indiana limestone, and repetitive geometric shapes. Merchandise Mart occupies 2 city blocks. It has 7.5 miles or 10 kilometers of hallways inside, and you can see these 8 busts in the front. Those are the 8 merchant princes of Chicago, wealthy businessmen that helped Chicago grow years ago. Those were installed by the Kennedy family, who owned this building for 50 years. Merchandise Mart has offices, showroom floors, boutiques, and more. It's so big that it actually has its own train station, and it used to have their own zip code for many years until Chicago came in and told them they had to share with the neighbors. Now, we are entering Wolf Point, which is the Y-shaped junction of the 3 branches of the Chicago River. This is where it all started years ago with the settlement of fur trappers. The first thing that they built right here were 3 taverns, because priorities, right? That settlement eventually grew to become the town of Chicago in the 1830s, and it has not stopped growing since. Now, fast forward a bit, take a look up to your right, you'll see the Salesforce Tower, still under construction, but it's almost done. Last year, this was a skeleton frame, about halfway up with a few windows in, and now it's almost done. It's been fun watching this go up. They go up so fast these days, don't they? Now, straight ahead of us is another tall glass tower, the one with the parabolic arches on the top and the bottom, the one that looks like a large hot pocket. This is River Point. River Point has the arch on the bottom because that section of the building is built over train tracks, and you cannot block the train tracks with your building, no matter who you are. They are behind. That's what's not the catch-up. Underneath that beautiful arch, a couple years ago they added this beautiful red spiral sculpture, which is called Constellation by Santiago Calatrava, another famous Spanish architect, known for his spiral designs, his architecture, very creative styles, suspension bridges. Underneath the tower, just go through, you'll see a nice little walkway. You see some nice little trees, ivys, and some circular holes. Those holes were specifically designed to ventilate the train tracks, which are now all underground as of 2017, when they finished this tower and the plaza that surrounds it. We are now entering on the north branch of the Chicago River. We will continue north just about a block or so, and then we'll turn the boat around and head south after that. Up ahead to your left, you'll see a little old pink building. That is a Fulton House. The Fulton House was built in 1898, and that makes it the oldest building that we'll see today on the tour. When they built this originally, it didn't have any windows, and its walls were about this thick because this used to be a giant freezer. or the city. They had all the frozen meat stored in here. And so they had to melt all of that ice. That took 3 months to get rid of all the ice before they could start thinning out the walls, adding windows. And if you look closely, you'll see nautical star detailing on the outside and round porthole windows up near the top. It's because the man in charge of the redesign was sailor and architect Harry Weiss, the same one that designed Swiss Hotel that loved the triangles. So, a few years later, Weiss designed the 4 triangular-shaped river cottages right next door. When he built these in the late 80s, a lot of people said it was crazy. They said, who's going to pay all that money to live right by the river? This isn't even the nice part, they said. But it is now, so joke's on them. One of those sold for over $2 million about 7 years ago. Now everybody wants to live by the river because it's a lot nicer now. You'll see similar prices for the Kinsey Park townhomes up to your left, which all sold out before they were even finished in 2000. In contrast, to your right, you'll see the East Bank Club. They have their back facing the river. That was the more common posture towards this river before Chicago cleaned it up and made it beautiful and fun like it is today. All right, here's where we take our first little pause. How's everybody doing so far? Are we good? All right, all right. If you need anything in the back, bathrooms, drinks, snacks, shade, all that is back there. Make sure to stay hydrated. It is a little bit hot out today. If you have any questions, let me know, and we will continue shortly after we turn around. Thank you.